That is the taste of Manchester United currently being held by young boys. A goal apiece still there in the first Champions League game back this season. In the other game is Salzburg Sevilla, of course, and the Liverpool target, Adeyemi, is balling out there. He absolutely is. He's running the show. I hope FSG have their eyes on this game. But before I talk about today's news, welcome, by the way, to today's late night agenda. You're stuck with me again. Craig's not around, so here I am. But yeah, we're going to get into the news in a moment. But before then, I have to remind you of our sponsors for this video, which, of course, is Manscaped. Manscaped are trying to keep at the top of, the men's grooming game, and they absolutely are there at the moment. They've released a new Performance Package 4.0. It includes absolutely loads of stuff. It's class, and it will take your grooming to the next level. Excuse me. In there, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0, their Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer. What else have you got in there? So you got that Weed Whacker, you've got formulations and 2 free gifts in there as well, which I believe one of those is a bag. So yeah, there's absolutely loads. And if you suffer from having a massive package, then you need to keep it well groomed. And it's certainly helping me. I can tell you that for free. So make sure you get down, you sort yourselves out. You ain't going to get anywhere in life if you're not well groomed down there. And we're giving you a great offer. WFM20 at the checkout for 20% off. You're all sorted then. Happy days. Shaggers, the lot of you. So yeah, we'll move on. We'll start with the news of the day. There's plenty of news. Firstly, United are on the ropes. Absolutely love it. And yeah, there's loads of news. We're going to start with stuff for the game tomorrow. The day before a game, we usually do a Cop of the Week, don't we? Me, Craigie, and Steve. But you start with just me today. So I'm going to do a little roundup, what I think is going to happen, my score prediction, and my team prediction. So, bit of news ahead of the game. Excuse me, our first news piece of the day. And that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic is unavailable for this game. He's staying in Milan. He's not long come back from an injury, but he's got one again. Boo-hoo. It means that they've got Olivier Giroud instead, who, often plays well against Liverpool, doesn't he? So, yeah. Is this good news? Probably, yeah, because, Zlatan is a player that's capable of a magic moment out of nowhere. Even considering the age that he is now, he's still got that moment in him. He's a very, very top player. But Milan strengthened, didn't they? They got a magnificent deal bringing Giroud in for just £1 million, I believe. And yeah, he's going to be as much of a threat as Big Bad Zlatan. So yeah, going to be a tough one. Going to be a tough game still, despite the absence of obviously the main man Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let's have a look in your comments. Let's see what you lot have to say so far. Brian Kemp with a lovely starting comment. I'm going to start with this one today. Rambling nonsense. Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate that comment, mate. Thank you a lot. Anyone else? Mick Wall says Jack has his night shift lights on. Yeah, I do. As you can see, the red light, red for Liverpool, of course. Nah, it's just a light. But there we go. Let's have a look. Anything else? Fix your hood, Jack. Is that better? Better? Sorted. Now we can crack on with the proper news. Look, the biggest news of the day, we'll get into that now. Mohamed Salah, his interview comments. And are they dodgy? Are we just reading into them? Is he on about the African Cup of Nations? Is he hinting at a future move away from the club? Who knows? I don't know at all. So I don't know why you come to me for news regarding that. But anyway, hey-ho, I'll try and analyse it a bit. It's difficult. To people are obviously going to read into that. After the game, he said he wants to score a lot of goals before I go. It's obviously AFCON. It's clearly, a mix-up with the language. It could also be, just before he retires, something like that. But obviously, with that contract looming, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And as Liverpool fans, we're going to read into that. He wants his contract sorted. He wants Liverpool to put what he deserves on the contract. And, at the minute, it's still not sorted. We were hoping it'd be done in the summer with the others. But it hasn't been yet. And, I said that would be the best part of the summer if we could, secure him to a new long-term deal, a contract extension. It would have been fantastic news for us. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And I'm sure this will continue throughout the season. He started the season really, really well, hasn't he, Mo? As per usual. And yeah, it is a worry right now. It is, particularly with the Kylian Mbappe situation at Paris Saint-Germain. You expect their first choice replacement for him would be Mohamed Salah. And the longer he doesn't sign a new contract, Mo, the more likely that is to happen. And we can't lose this guy. We can't lose him at all. There is no one in the world. I keep saying this. There's no one that could bring to us what Mohamed Salah has brought to us. His record is unbelievable. He's reached 100 Premier League goals already. And I'll say and counting, because he's going to continue to get more and more and more for as long as he plays in the Premier League. He is world class, truly top player, and we're so lucky to have him. And for me, put that contract down. Let him write whatever numbers on there he wants, and yeah, let him sign it. Happy days. We need this guy. So yeah, for me, it's a difficult situation. I don't think he's meant it as in, when I go at the end of the season. I think he potentially knows what he's doing. He just wants his future sorted. He knows that he's not necessarily saying anything black and white there. He could mean AFCON. He could mean when he retires. I think there's nothing to read into too much. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Salah stuff. But let me know your opinion in the comments, and I will read them out if I can, if I see them. But anyway, I'll move on back on to the Milan stuff ahead of tomorrow, and I'm going to give you my team news, my score prediction, and all things Milan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm gutted, to be honest, because this is the first European game under FSG that I haven't been able to attend. I missed out in the Auto Cup scheme, which I'm absolutely gutted about, and it's going to hit me even harder tomorrow when I'll be watching it from my TV now, and I hear You'll Never Walk Alone, because European nights at Anfield are really, really special. Really special. I've been lucky enough to be in the Auto Cup scheme every year they've done it. So yeah, the first season not in it. I was unfortunate, missed out this year because obviously there was too many people eligible for it now, with obviously 2 years away from football and stuff like that. Sorry, I mean, football went behind closed doors, didn't it? So yeah, good that I missed out, but anyway, it's still going to be a great game. Can't wait for it. We've been handed a tough group. It's weird. It's got to be the first time in history, hasn't it, that the top seed in the group is the only side that hasn't won the competition. That, of course, being Atletico Madrid. Then there's us, Milan, and FC Porto, who obviously all have won it, and several times apiece. Particularly with us, Milan, and you talk about European heritage. Us and Milan is European heritage, a replay of the 2005 final in Istanbul. What a night that was. Probably the greatest Champions League final of all time. And also a replay of the 2007 Champions League final too. So, yeah, huge night. Milan, of course, aren't the side they once were. But they're still a top side, still a dangerous side. They've got, obviously, Tonali, who I think is a top player. He has elements of Pirlo about him. If you've seen both of their first goals for Milan, they're almost almost identical, and yeah, a bit scary really. Obviously they're without Zlatan, who a lot of people pinpoint as their main man, but they still have so many good players. I believe obviously they've got Chelsea's Fikayo Tomori there as well. They've got a lot of top talent, and their first season back in the Champions League for a while now, and they'll be hoping for a good night at Anfield. But we've got to be on it tomorrow, we really do, and fingers crossed it is a great night for the Reds in our first Champions League night back at Anfield with fans in the ground. And I, for one, can't wait. Now, team predictions. What are we going to go with? We know that Liverpool are going to be forced into making at least one change after the injury of Harvey Elliott, which I'll talk about in a moment. Of course, he's had successful surgery today. We'll go into more detail on that one in a moment. But yeah, we know he's absent, so he won't be starting. So Liverpool will have to make at least one change. Then there's the back four. Robbo obviously played 3 games for Scotland during the international break, having missed the start of the season through injury. We have Van Dijk and Matip, who have both played every game together in the Premier League, but they both had long-term injuries last season. We bought Konate and we've got Gomez as well. Will Klopp use this game to rest either Van Dijk or Matip, or maybe even both? The midfield, who will he go with? Will he just play it simple and bring in Henderson for Harvey Elliott? Will he change it up, and change the midfield up completely? Will we see Naby coming in? And then the front three, obviously, Firmino's not been in training today. Minamino has returned to training, but I expect this game probably has come slightly too soon for Minamino. But will we see a change in the front three? Will Origi come in? Will Ox come in? We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Excuse me, bear with me a sec. Excuse me for that. But anyway, yeah, lots of choice. But my team for tomorrow is as follows. Man United lost. Did they actually lose? Oh my word. Happy days. Well, this stream just got better, didn't it? Well, yeah, Man United in the mud. Lost the young boys in their... Wow. What a start for them, eh? I mean, I suppose Wijnaldum, the man who's meant to be the Champions League man, can't exactly work miracles when you've got a PE teacher as your manager, can he? But yeah, they were unfortunate with... Well, they weren't unfortunate. It was a stonewall red card for Wan-Bissaka. They went down to 10 men, played the majority of the game with 10 men, but you absolutely love to see it, don't you? So yeah, happy days. United have lost, and fingers crossed we can make it a perfect week with 3 points to get us going in the Champions League tomorrow against Milan, who, as I say, are a difficult opposition. Excuse me again. I hate blowing my nose on stuff like this, but we move. But let's have a look at the comments so far. Jake NH says, Viva Young Boys, Viva the Swiss. A lot of people laughing at United. Jack Dunn says, yes, United lost. Yeah, incredible. Wow. Over the moon with that. Happy days. But anyway, we'll move on to tomorrow, eh? The team news. I'll go with Alisson in goal, obviously. First name on the team sheet. And then right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm going to go Konate and Van Dijk. And I am going to go with Tsimikas. Now, this is interesting because I think Van Dijk probably could do with a rest, because obviously we saw him pick up that little knock against the Netherlands. For the Netherlands on international duty in that third game, despite only playing 2 of the 3. Then he obviously played the full 90 at the weekend. He's played every game for Liverpool at the start of this season, despite that long-term injury last season. Does he need a break? Now, because of his importance, I think this will be entirely down to Van Dijk and Jurgen Klopp. If they both think he is 100% fit, he will continue and he will play again. And I think Van Dijk's not going to rule himself out. He's going to be wanting to play in that first game in the Champions League with fans back at Anfield. So yeah, I think he'll be playing. But I think Joel Matip, we know what his body's like. He started the season really, really well. And I think it's a really good opportunity to give Konate his first competitive start for the Reds. I really do. And that's nothing against Matip. He'll come back in at the weekend against Crystal Palace, of course. But I just think it's important to freshen it up when we had as many long-term injuries at the back as we did last season. And Tsimikas coming in as well makes an effect too, because you're not going to change Van Dijk from that left side without Robbo there, are you? So I think it's an opportunity to give Robbo a break too after that injury at the start of the season. So yeah, that's my opinion on the back four. Feel free to disagree with me. Let me know in the comments what you think about the team news, and I'll read as many out as possible. Then the midfield 3, I think it'll be Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago Alcantara. I think he'll only make one change to the midfield from the weekend. Of course, as I keep saying, you can't underestimate Milan. They're not the side they once were. Still a top side, and Jurgen Klopp won't be underestimating them whatsoever. And then the front 3, I think he goes with the usual front 3. Obviously, Bobby's out injured, so it'll be Salah, Mane, and Diogo. So yeah, that's what I think it'll be. Score prediction. I keep saying, don't I? Don't underestimate Milan. Don't underestimate Milan. They're a real top side, and you can't underestimate teams in the Champions League. But I'm going to go with 6-0 here. 6-0 to the Reds. Great night back at Anfield in front of the crowd in the Champions League. Floodlights on Anfield, and it's going to be 6-0. Happy days. We'll move on then. Any more news here? And by the way, before I get the usual comments of, why is he saying 6-0? I suggest you watch more videos of ours and you'll find out why I say 6-0. But yeah, the real ones, no. The real ones, no. Any more news for today then? Yes, we do. Of course, we do have some news. Gini Wijnaldum has spoken on his departure from the football club. He has said that several months ago I'd expressed the desire to stay in Liverpool, but without going into details, Liverpool did not give me the feeling of wanting to keep me. In these cases, we have to move forwards. Are we over Gini Wijnaldum now? I was gutted at the time he left. I'm still gutted now, particularly with the injury at the weekend to Harvey Elliott when he was our replacement for Gini Wijnaldum, seeing as we didn't sign anyone in that position, of course. So yeah, for me, I think it's hard still, but I think he's speaking about us a lot, isn't he? And at the end of the day, who wouldn't want to stay with this squad at the minute? Who wouldn't want to continue working under Jurgen Klopp? And he expressed his desire throughout his final year that he wanted to stay. He was happy to stay. And it was clearly a decision made by FSG. There was clearly some questions over the contract and the terms of the contract, but FSG weren't budging. And we know they have that structure for players over the age of 30 that they're not willing to break unless it's for, extreme circumstances like Van Dijk, like Jordan Henderson, like of course it will be for Mohamed Salah. But yeah, I think we're in a position now where we need to move on. He's gone. He's not our player anymore. And yeah, he's still talking about us. Fair enough. We still love him. He's a Liverpool legend. I hope he talks about us for a very long time. But talking about his situation to leaving, as to why he's left, I don't think that's needed anymore because the world knows why he's left. The world knows those comments. I already knew them comments. He said them before. So why he's still getting asked that, I'm not sure. And I think people that are asking that need to do their research before they ask him questions. And also, I think he's clearly missing the beautiful Liverpool and the mighty Merseyside. So, yeah, who would blame him? Who would blame him? Let's have a look at your comments so far. Here we go. Jack Dunn says, wow, Jack, wasn't expecting my message to ever get on an Anfield Agenda stream. Thank you. You're doing a great job. No worries, mate. No worries. Brian Morrissey says, it's crazy we've never played Milan at Anfield before. It really is, isn't it? All that European pedigree. We only play in the finals, don't we? But yeah, we've met each other in the group stage. First time we'll be playing them at Anfield. And it's going to be a cracker. I can tell you that one for free. It's going to be a cracker. Atmosphere is going to be booming. It's going to be a magnificent game of football between two of, the best sides in Europe over the years. And yeah, as Mourinho would say, this is football heritage. It is football heritage. It really is at its best. So yeah. Mick Wall, I assume this is on Gini Wijnaldum. He says, yes, move on. Levi also agrees with me about 6-0. What a scoreline. It's going to be. Look, the more I say it, the more chance I've got of it actually coming off one day. And I can feel it for tomorrow. I can feel it in my bones. So, yeah, it's going to happen. And I'm going to keep saying it until it does happen. So you lot will get to a point where you're like, this is old now. Let's just hope it's 6-0. Please just be 6-0 so that dickhead can shut up. And, yeah. Trust me, I'm at that point already about myself. But yeah, we move. I'm not changing my mind. Anything else? United lost. It was a good evening. It was a good evening. I think Unai Emery must be in the room because good evening. A lot of comments about Manchester United. Namon Panton says, I still think we will buy a replacement, to be honest. Yes, but I think the point is that we're going into the season. We've gone into the season without the replacement. So we're playing months of the season, now the window's shut, without a replacement. We can't buy now, can we? We're going to have to wait till January. So yes, we probably will bring a midfielder in January or in the summer, but is that too late? We saw the injury to Harvey Elliott. We know what Naby Keita's fitness is like. Oxlade-Chamberlain's fitness is the same. Milner's old and he can't play 2 games in a week really. And is he good enough now? Who knows? He's more of a versatility sort of man, isn't he? A utility man that you play all over the shop when you're desperate, or that you bring him in when players need rest and stuff like that. We saw Thiago out last season. Henderson usually misses a few games in the season through injury. It is a worry. We've got Curtis Jones, of course, as well. But it would have been nice. Wijnaldum was such an important player under Jurgen Klopp. I think we needed to buy a replacement. I really did. Pacific. As well as the fact that now Harvey Elliott has obviously picked up that long-term injury, it just highlights that problem because he was what the club had called the Genie replacement for now, hadn't they? So there we go. Jugs on Genie says we are over him, but what a player he was. Yep. A Liverpool legend. I don't understand the argument that he's not a Liverpool legend because he really is. You only have to look at what he's won and what he's done for this football club. The night at Anfield against Barcelona, winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League, winning the Club World Cup, winning the Super Cup. Liverpool legend. The game time he played under Jurgen Klopp, scoring the goal that got us, into the Champions League in the first place. I believe it was against Middlesbrough at Anfield on the last game of the season. He's had so many great moments. And for me, I don't understand the argument. He's certainly a Liverpool legend for me. So, yeah, there we go. Jen, though, says, yes, we have to move on. I agree. Anything else? Let's have a look. Any more of your comments here? Sunny Side Up says, won't say anything about United until we win tomorrow. Well, they've just lost to Young Boys. We're playing AC Milan, so I think there's a bit of a difference. But yeah, fair enough. And I assume, usually we have a few United fans in here, gloating or saying stuff about United, but I can't see a single one tonight. So I think that says what they all think about that. One of my mates from uni, I've finished uni now, but one of my mates from uni was a big United fan, and he does bits like this for All for United. And I saw a video that he put up this morning of himself saying that they're winning the Champions League this year, and they've lost the first game to Young Boys in Switzerland. So there you go. But I'm sure the excuses will come out. It'll be because they played on a 4G pitch, because it was difficult for the players to play with 10 men for a long period of time, yada. It's because the going got tough for United. They went down for 10 men, and they haven't got a proper manager. So when the going gets tough, they don't know what to do. It's as simple as that. You can have all the leaders in the world, but if you don't have the proper coaches, if you don't have the right game plan and the right tactics, you'll win fuck all. It's as simple as that. And that's why United won't win anything important under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They won't. They'll spend all the money on Ronaldo. He won't bring you trophies. He won't alone. Spend the money on Varane, on Sancho, stuff like that. They didn't get a midfielder. And if they did, Ole's not coaching them to win the Premier League. He's not. So, yeah, for me, expected. The going got tough. They went down to 10 men. They've lost. We move. Anything else that's said here? What happened to Konate? He's just being kept out of the team at the minute by brilliant performances from Joel Matip. It's as simple as that. As well as that, though, we know Jurgen Klopp likes to bed in players like players that have just moved to the club. We know Jurgen likes to do that. You only have to look at when Robbo first moved to the club, and Fabinho and other players that he's done that with. He never likes to throw him in the deep end straight away. It's just about finding the right time, and I think tomorrow could be the right time. So I won't be surprised if we see Konate from the start tomorrow. That's my opinion. But yeah, Klopp doesn't like to throw them into English football too quickly. They have to adjust. They have to learn the game over here. So yeah. But tomorrow, obviously, different ball game, Champions League. I can see Konate start. I really can. Cludston says, I hope Ollie gets a new 10-year contract. Yeah, don't we all? Well, I got the hiccups. Shamari says Cade Gordon on the bench tomorrow. Probably, yeah, because obviously you allow more substitutes in the Champions League, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see young Cade on the bench and hopefully he can get some minutes. Image _ not _ uploaded has asked me to talk about the Salah interview. I did so earlier, mate. If you go back towards the start of the video, you'll see that it's not far after the Manscaped stuff at the start. By the way, WFM 20 for 20% off at the checkout. You know what to do. People saying to check Mark Goldbridge's reaction, which do check it, have a giggle, but first of all, stay here, watch me, yeah? Watch that after. Remember as well, I always say this, but it's taken me 26 minutes for some reason to say this today, but make sure you're liking the video, you're clicking that notification button, you're subscribing if you haven't already to Anfield Agenda, and you know what as well, while you're at it, click the link up at the top and share it on social media to as many, platforms as you can. Get this watched by as many people as you possibly can. And I tell you what, if you do that and you tag me on Twitter at JackLFCGill, I may consider giving you a follow. How about that? But anyway, we'll move on. Bombay Potato says, got both tabs open, but you on full volume and Goldbridge on the low. Well, whoever does have two tabs open and is watching Goldbridge as well, make sure you put in the comments that Jack from Anfield Agenda says hi. And if you want, clip this up of me saying hi to him and asking him what the score is, and tag him on Twitter and see if he responds. See if we can trigger Mark Goldbridge tonight. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Anything else from you guys? Apparently, everyone talking about Ole out in the Mark Goldbridge comments. I don't particularly care. I want to talk about Liverpool here, boys. Come on. Big game for us tomorrow in the Champions League. But anyway, we do have some more news. And I said I would talk about it earlier, and I'm going to talk about it now. Harvey Elliott, of course, suffered, obviously, that serious injury at the weekend, the ankle injury, the dislocation to his ankle. Klopp confirmed in his press match conference earlier on, pre-match press conference, I meant, that he will be undergoing surgery today. And then El Jimbo, James Pearce, with some good news, said earlier that the surgery was I can't get my words out today for some reason, but yeah, El Jimbo said earlier that the surgery was a success in London today, and therefore Harvey Elliott is expected to play for Liverpool again before the end of the season. So a little boost for us there. He's still going to be out for a long time. I've seen in loads of different places, probably 4 to 6 months. But again, I don't know that for sure, so don't take my word for it. But I've just seen various sources suggesting that that'll be the time frame for the injury. But yeah, fingers crossed that he's back sooner rather than later. Top player, I'm gutted for him. Just started his third Premier League game on the bounce, was showing that he's a real talent, and a real part of Jurgen Klopp's plans for now, not just the future. And he's a real star boy. And he's got the mindset, the work ethic, the determination to come back quicker and to come back stronger. And I have no doubt that Harvey Elliott will do that. And he's also got age on his side, just 18 years of age, which means his bones will work faster and repair and heal quicker. I believe that's a scientific fact, by the way. I'm not Einstein. I don't know for sure, but I believe it is. I believe that's science. So, I'm not just a football face. I'm a scientist as well now. But we'll move on. Anything else here? Samsy says, I was off for 6 months with a dislocated ankle. It's worse than a break. Yeah, it can be worse than a break. It can be quicker. It depends on the dislocation. It depends on what's happened. Because obviously, if your bone moves and out of place like it does, it's inevitably going to cause damage to other areas, particularly, the ligaments and the tendons and stuff like that. So, yeah, it can be worse. But it can also, if you avoid that, it can be better and you can be back quicker. And that's why, there'll be no time scale on the injury. That's why I'm trying to be careful not to say black and white, this will be how long he's out for, because it completely depends when there's an injury like this. But yeah, it's still a tough one. Klopp won't rush him back, that's for sure. The medical staff won't rush him back, that's for sure. But you have to remember, Samsey, as well, these are Premier League footballers. They're professional athletes. They have the best care and attention. So fingers crossed, we see Harvey Elliott back quicker than you were able to be. I'm sorry, by the way, I think my camera keeps going off. But hopefully it's not for long each time. I've got a question here from Observed Elab. I answered this last night, but I appreciate a lot of you wouldn't have been in here for this. Do I think the foul was a red as it was unintentional? And, I tweeted this out yesterday because someone, on the Anfield Agenda Twitter admin put out that, the clip of me saying it, and received some angry comments from Leeds fans all. But yeah, a bit of context behind them comments, and I'll explain it again now. For me, if it's not a red card, I'll be saying, yeah, happy it's a yellow card. Sorry, if it's not the injury sustained by Harvey Elliott, I don't think anyone would be so black and white it's a red card. But in the laws of the game, if you endanger an opponent, it's a red card. It's as simple as that. That they are in the IFAB laws of the game. It's as simple as that. And Struijk has dived in. He's come off the ground. He's dived in from behind at Harvey Elliott, and he's endangered an opponent, because you only have to look at Harvey Elliott's leg after to see the injury he's caused him. And therefore, for me, it has to be a red card. I think it's one of them orange cards for me. And obviously, the referee didn't help himself by not even blowing his whistle at first. But yeah, for me, it is a red card, particularly when you bear in mind the injury to Harvey Elliott. Without that injury, I think, I wouldn't be arguing if it was given a yellow card. I'd be saying potentially a red, but I wouldn't be asked because we won 3-0, happy days. But yeah, with the injury to Harvey Elliott, Harvey Elliott's going to miss months of football now. Struijk misses, 3 games? So stop moaning. It's as simple as that. Well, it's 2.5 because it's not violent conduct, so he only misses 2 for the red card. Obviously, the half that he was taken, sent off in. So, yeah, I don't understand the moaning, to be honest with you, from Leeds fans, but there you go. It's been appealed. I can't see them overturning it. I know Harvey Elliott has spoken out himself and said that he doesn't think it's a red card, but I think from a professional footballer's point of view, you wouldn't think it's a red card because there was no malice, there was no intention. It wasn't a horror challenge. We've seen challenges a lot worse get a yellow card. For example, the Tarkowski one on Richarlison yesterday was disgusting. But I'm not saying that's a red card, by the way, either. I'm not saying that's a red card. But I am saying that, we have seen challenges as bad as that get a yellow card. Of course we have. But I think it's the significance of the injury, the way he's jumped in, and he's gone from behind too. So that's what I'm saying. John W. Henry says, wish we kept Ben Woodburn. Oh, Christ. Oh, no. But anyway, we move on. I just wish we made a summer signing in the midfield area and, brought in a forward. I mentioned earlier, Adeyemi has impressed for Salzburg tonight. He would have been a good signing for us, wouldn't he? So, yeah, disappointed that we didn't bring anyone in other than Konate. And I think we may pay the price for that because our depth just isn't as strong as, your Chelsea's, your United's, they lost tonight, and Manchester City. So yeah, that's my opinion. Let's have a look. Anything else here? John W. Henry says, Konate isn't ruled out. Who said that? I didn't say that. Reform says, I thought it was definitely at least a yellow. Someone tackled Mane in a similar fashion not long after, and I was upset about it as well. Yeah, those sort of challenges are creeping back in, aren't they? And I don't like them. They're the ones that can cause injury more. You're diving in from behind. You're like, it's almost like a scissor challenge where you got that. It's not 2-footed, but you got that trailing leg in a position where it can get caught and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not the nicest of challenges. And for me, when you bear in mind that he's gone in like that, he's also caused the injury to Harvey Elliott. It's got to be a red because for me, I'd label that sort of challenge as an orange card. I really would. Lots of people saying to me tomorrow's prediction, me, lads, I've said already in this stream, it's going to be 6-0. It's going to be 6-0. Happy days. Great win at Anfield. First night under the lights in the Champions League. This is going to be the night, with fans back in the stadium. This is going to be the night where people start going, Liverpool are going to win the Champions League again. Yeah, number 7's coming. Trust me on that one. Anything else here from you lot? John W. Henry says, I wouldn't mind seeing Curtis Jones replace Mane tomorrow. Didn't Curtis play in a more advanced role at youth level? Yes, he did. But obviously Klopp has seen something in him more in that central midfield position, and I would agree. I think that position suits him more at this level. I think he would still do a job at left wing, but I think we need to go relatively strong against Milan tomorrow because they're a good side. They're going to put out their strongest side that's available. So yeah, I don't think we'll see Curtis Jones coming in for Mane at all. And also, by the way, I want to talk about Sadio Mane's performance against Leeds because he was dangerous. You know, his form in front of goal was shocking, but he scored that late goal. That hopefully has given him some confidence. But all in all, his performance against Leeds was really bright. He was dangerous. He caused them so many problems. It was just his finishing that was awful until, you know, the late stages when he did manage to get his goal, which he absolutely deserved for that performance. But on another day, Mane scores a hat-trick there, and we're all coming away raving about him, saying that, you know, man of the match performance from him. So yeah, it just wasn't his day. And for me, it'll be the front three that we saw against Leeds at the weekend that continue and start against Milan. Let's have a look. Anything else? Have a look. Eliza John 5 says, hi, Jack. Hi, Eliza. Obviously, a very, you know, someone we see regularly on this channel. Danny Crotch says, the challenge on Harvey was probably an accident, but the challenge on Richarlison yesterday was late and definitely needs to be eliminated. Yeah, it wasn't a nice challenge from Tarkowski, was it? You see it all the time from Burnley. I think refs now bear that in mind, and that's wrong of them. You know, they need to be punished more frequently because they do it so often. They do it time and time and time again. You know, and Klopp said a warning after the Burnley game that he wasn't happy with the challenges on Harvey Elliott that game, and lo and behold, 2 games later, Harvey Elliott receives the injury that he did. So, yeah, you know, what can I say? It's the inconsistency, isn't it, with Premier League refereeing? And I think that's why this is a debate, because I think a challenge like that from behind that injures a player like that should be a red card. It's as simple as that. Donald thinks it'll be 7-0. Fair play, Donald. Nice. I like that. Apparently, Chelsea haven't started great in that game. By the way, I'm not going to keep you too late here. I know there's Champions League games. I know people probably care more about that than seeing my ugly mug on a screen. But anyway, I've got through all the news now. I'm just trying to get as many comments of yours as possible read out. I'll probably read a few more and then I'll dip. And you can watch the football and enjoy your night. And I'll be back for our match day content tomorrow, which starts, by the way, there'll probably be a video during the day, but the match day content will start over on the Anfield Agenda Instagram. If you're not onto that, follow them. Well, follow us. You know, our Instagram, I do an Instagram live as soon as the team news is announced, and I will be doing the same tomorrow. It'll be for 10-15 minutes or so. I'll read out as many comments as possible. We'll have a good old chit chat before the game, and then after the game, obviously, I will do my post-match reaction. The game, of course, will have a live watch-along with the one and only Craig Holden, who will be back for that one, of course. And then after the game, he'll do his ratings and match reaction and stuff as well. So loads of content tomorrow. We'll be working all night. Champions League night, late night. We love it, don't we? Especially Craig. He's an absolute night worm. Is that a phrase, night worm? There we go. Not Tom says, top shagger Jack 6-0 Gil. Always love when you stream, lad. Good one tonight and all. Thank you. I don't know where I got that first bit from. I don't know whether that was because of what I said in the Manscaped introduction, but yeah, I'll take it. You know, I've heard worse nicknames. So there we go. Brian Morrissey says, interesting to see if Kessie plays tomorrow, linked to a few clubs. Yeah, and that's why, you know, I talk about the midfield tomorrow. And I talk about, a midfielder, Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson. I think the midfield's important because that midfield battle is going to be an interesting one. They've got some very good midfielders. They've got Tonali, they've got Kessie, who I actually missed out earlier. I can't believe I missed that. So, Kessie's a great player, and he's linked with us. He's been linked with, a whole host of Premier League clubs. He's linked heavily with Tottenham in the summer as well. And I like what I see of Kessie. I really, really do. It'll be interesting to see how he fares against a Premier League side. It'll be interesting to see how he fares against us. And I'm sure if we are interested, there'll be a few scouting reports done on him tomorrow. And I'm sure Jurgen will have his eye. Let's have a look. Anything else? Samsey doesn't want me to go. Look, I can't stay forever, Samsey. I can't stay all the time. I'll be back tomorrow, and you'll have to join me for that. Make sure, if they're not already, and I'll say it again, that notification bell is pressed so that you won't miss a thing from me or Craig tomorrow. That's it. Night owl, not night worm. What am I on about? There we go. Samsey says United look classless. They won't win their group. Yeah, and you know what? I mentioned the 10 men thing before. They weren't great from the first whistle. Ronaldo scored that goal, which he got a bit of luck on. Let's be honest. It was a lovely ball from Bruno, though. I'll be blatantly honest there. I'm not always biased. But yeah, they weren't great from the first whistle, and then they went 1-0 up. There were still some shaky moments from them. Obviously, the sending off of Wan-Bissaka didn't quite help them. But I thought the substitutions from Solskjaer were weird, and they deserve to lose. I think they'll still win the group because their group's full of farmers, really, isn't it? But they'll still go on and win the group. But it's funny to laugh at them now while it lasts. And it'll be funny if they don't win the group. So there we go. What did the other score finish, by the way? Sevilla Salzburg. Let me know. But I've lost money tonight with them losing. But anyway, I'd rather lose money and United lose. Let's be honest there. Let's have a look. Brian Morrissey says, go watch Craig now, and that's football maybe. Yeah, that's what I'll do. If I, when I leave, I'll go and send you lot over there, and I'll stay here and watch the footy. I'm not going to bother with the Chelsea game, to be honest. I'm going to watch Barca Bayern. Shamari says, do I have my own channel chat? This is our channel. I work for Craig and Connor. I don't have my own channel though. No, you may recognise me in the past, which is why for doing other stuff in the past, which is why you're asking this question. I used to do stuff for Redmen, and also, I had my own channel for them, which was called The Academy, but I don't really have time to do that stuff anymore. But I still love keeping tabs on the young players around Europe for footballing reasons, obviously. Before I get disgusting comments about that, I just thought I'd clarify. Because I know what you horrible lot are like. And Donald says 1-1 tomorrow. Mitchell Costello says, hi, Jack. Good to see you, mate. Any update on Elliott? I'm sorry if you covered it already. I have covered it already, mate, but thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that, and a $5 one as well. Thank you so much. However, I will say it again, just for you, Mitchell. He's obviously had surgery today down in London. James Pearce, El Jimbo, Bad News Pearce, as you lot might know him, has given us good news. The surgery was a success, and he will be back before the end of the season, hopefully. So that is positive news. We don't know the timescale of the injury. I don't like to put a timescale on the injury. The club won't put a timescale on the injury. We just got to hope, he's got young bones. He's 18 years old. His body will heal quicker than that of someone older than him. So we just got to hope that he comes back sooner rather than later. He comes back stronger. And as I said before, Harvey has the right mindset to do that. I'm confident in him doing that. I hope we don't rush him back. I hope he has a good rehabilitation. And fingers crossed he'll be back sooner rather than later. ZA says, Craig says, you're an idiot. Oh, that's charming of him. I am, though. So, you know what? I'll take it. And, when did he say that, though? But anyway, we move. The RB game, the Salzburg game, was 1-1. So, yeah, good result for Salzburg. And when I had it on earlier, I saw that Adeyemi was playing well. So, yeah, impressed with him. Of course, a Liverpool target, apparently. So, hopefully, we have our eye on him. And Mitchell Costello with another super chat. Thanks again, mate, saying brilliant. Thanks, Jack. All the best. Cheers, guys. That is where I'm going to leave today's video. A nice shorter one than usual today. But thank you all for joining me for this one. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Remember, we have so much content coming up, both pre and post match tomorrow. So make sure you join us here on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel, and of course over on Instagram and Twitter too. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Ta-ra. Oh.